Good evening, world.
Oh, wow. You didn't say good morning. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I thought I'd be on my
Your
better
best behavior
Yeah,
since we got Judge in here.
yeah, we got like 2 tiers above what we've been having.
Right.
So we got Mr. Scott Davidson in here. He is running for circuit judge,
Yes, sir.
and I think I put District 2, and it's actually Division 2.
That's all right.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's Division 2.
Well, what do you want to tell everybody about yourself?
Oh my goodness, I never get an opportunity to open up. That's a scary proposition.
I mean, I started off facetiously if you want me to.
Yeah, I like where you're going with this, and I like the opportunity. Cindy and I've got my wife Cindy here with me because I don't go anywhere without her. She is
Smart move.
She's the one who guides me through all my problems, and if I say anything I don't need to say, she'll throw a pebble or something and hit me. But we've been to so many of these different meet and greets and meetings, et cetera, and you don't get the freedom to actually just open up and say something. I'll have to say, and this is not anything to do, I guess, with what I'm running for, but I've been so upset this week because Gus McCrae passed away.
I seen that.
And I'm a huge Lonesome Dove fan.
Probably all-time favorite.
And I've just not been myself. So if I break down at any point tonight, y'all just keep in mind that I'm thinking about Gus.
I
Well,
understand.
we're more than happy to have that moment of silence.
Well, hey, I'll tell you, it's been hard on me. And I know it has on so many. I think I've got that show memorized, but anyway, privileged to be here. This has been quite an experience for Cindy and I. I have never run for anything. I am a kind of meat and potato lawyer from Batesville. Been practicing for 37 years. Pretty much just a small businessman because that's what being a lawyer is.
Right.
And that is sometimes really good and sometimes really hard. Mm-hmm. But God has blessed us in a mighty way, and we're so blessed to be here with y'all tonight. And this has been an adventure, and it's an adventure that is drawing to a close because early voting's already started.
Oh, yeah.
And actually started yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody get out and vote.
And in most places, you have to go to your county courthouses to do that, right?
Well, there's some communities have their own
early voting
polling
locations.
places. Yes, but March 3rd is the date of the actual election.
Yeah,
and the circuit court races are nonpartisan, so you're not associated with one party or another, and everyone gets to vote. So regardless of whether you are Republican, Democrat, Independent, everyone gets to vote for the 4 circuit judge races. And as I mentioned to y'all earlier, there are 4. So anyway, that's coming up here pretty quickly.
we have your first question.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Man, getting off to a start.
Who's your favorite daughter?
Oh, my goodness. Well,
I had to throw that one in there really quick before we got real deep.
I know who's listening now. Here's what I have learned as a father of 38 years.
Oh, he just put it out there.
I love them. I love them the same, and they are completely different, and they are both completely wonderful. Lindsay is our oldest daughter.
Okay.
And Lindsay was born my second year of law school, and I always blame her for my poor grades because she was born during finals of my second semester, and she did not come into this world easily. But Lindsay is she is a great blessing to us. She is a physical therapist there in Batesville.
Oh, nice.
She is married to Jonathan Burgess. Jonathan was volleyball, or I'm not sorry, soccer coach at Batesville for a little while, and then he decided, against his father-in-law's advice, to go to law school. And he is a practicing attorney.
A glutton for punishment.
He is, but he's a heck of a lot smarter than me. He practices estate planning and has done very well.
Oh.
So proud of him. And they have 3 children. Gabe, who is 15, he's our oldest grandchild, and then we have Price and Paisley. Those are the 3 Burgess children. And then my youngest daughter, our youngest daughter, Alex. Alex is she has been heavily invested in this campaign and probably would like to kill her dad for getting her in this. Lindsay has been involved as well heavily, but she's been smart enough to stay out of some of the direct fire.
She's in the background.
That's right. That's right. Alex came along 5 years after her sister, and she is married to Ryan Veriker, who is a coach at Batesville, and they have 3 children, and their names are JoJo, Chase, and Mac. So we have 6 wonderful grandchildren. They are all there in Batesville, and
that's awesome.
Cindy and I are the most blessed people in the world because we have our kids there with us, and we have our wonderful grandchildren, and they're healthy, and we praise God every day for them.
Amen.
Just a wonderful. It's a wonderful life. Sometimes we all take our knocks, but God has been good.
So being nobody's paying attention, and we're just here by ourselves, and nobody's going to know.
Uh-oh.
We have 2 nieces.
Right.
Everybody said grandparenting was more fun than having children.
So we just went straight to that.
So that was the best way we could do it, was just have other people have kids for us.
Yeah.
And so,
ain't grandparenting fun?
There's wisdom in that.
yeah, is like for me, I kind of feel bad when I tell them, the parents, y'all really kind of messed up when you had the kids because y'all are automatically second now.
Yeah.
I mean, I love y'all and all, but
Right.
The babies come first.
the little ones are the ones.
You know, it's a funny thing. We love our daughters unconditionally, and they are great girls, and they have married very well. We're very blessed, and they did not give us any trouble to speak of growing up. They were great people. They've not been perfect, but they were a great blessing. But there's something different about when those grandkids come around. And Cindy was able, and we were so blessed to be able to have her stay home with our girls, and she has had a big hand in raising those 6 grandchildren. She's Tootsie. And of course that means I am Pop. And
I love that.
I tell you, there's just there's nothing like it, and they come over and of course we fill them up with whatever they want, sugar wise, and then we send them home to mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So life is good.
Yep.
Life is
Yep.
Not gonna lie, it would be nice if ours lived closer.
Yeah, we've got
That's okay.
one in Wynn, and we've got one in Sunset, Texas. So
It is what it is.
yeah.
But I guess we'll get on a kind of a serious note.
Okay.
Okay, good. Because I was fixing to pull up the favorite daughters questions.
Well, you can go ahead with that one.
Listen, Alex has helped me out a
Hold on.
lot.
For the folks like, I'll say myself, what did the circuit judge do?
Circuit judge.
Ooh, good question.
Great question. Let me talk about the 16th Judicial District because that is the area that we're in, and the reason I'm going to focus on it is because circuit courts are divided into different divisions, and in some circuit courts you may have courts that are a little bit different than the 16th. So I'll talk about the 4 courts that we have here. And the 16th is comprised of 5 counties: Independence, Cleburne, Stone, Fulton, and Izard. So you have the same set of judges, and we have 4 judges, the same set of judges hear cases in all of those counties. For instance, if you have a judge who's in the criminal division, as we do, he will hear cases in all of those counties. He'll have a court calendar that he follows.
And so will you have to go to each of those? Okay.
You go to the courthouses in those different counties.
Okay.
And the way that our courts are divided is there is a criminal division, and the judge that presides over that hears felony cases. There is a civil division, and the judge that presides over that generally hears civil cases involving, car accidents, property line disputes. The way our courts are set up, they hear probate matters, estates in that particular court, medical malpractice cases, cases involving, serious injuries or death, all in the civil division. The third division that we have is the juvenile division. And as that name would indicate, the judge there hears juvenile matters, cases involving families that are in need of support, services, sometimes juveniles that are having problems. Very important court. But that judge hears just juvenile cases. The division that I'm running for is the family law or domestic relations division. And the way that we're set up now is that the judge that is over that division hears adoptions, guardianships, divorces. Those are most of the cases that come through that particular division. One thing that is a little bit unusual about the family law division is that there is also a drug court in the 16th Judicial District. And the way that the judges have divided this up right now, the judge that presides over the family law division deals with the drug court as well. The drug court is for a lot of reasons that I won't get into, it gets into funding and money availability. The drug court is not real active right now. The idea with it is a wonderful thing. It's to provide rehabilitation and an option for those people who are able to qualify for it. But right now, it's not functioning on a high level. Hopefully, that is something that will be able to be remedied in the future.
Right.
But the main part of the division that I'm running for would be the family law, domestic relations division. You asked me a simple question. I gave you a 5-minute answer.
No, that's perfect. I know who to call. No,
you don't.
I love you and all, but I know who to call.
Don't. Nope, you don't have that connection.
Let me say this. Let me say this too about circuit courts. Circuit courts are the trial courts of Arkansas. Okay, and these different divisions that I have described are all categories of trial courts. So jury trials are conducted in circuit court. Now, divorces in Arkansas, you don't have a right to a jury trial, et cetera.
Right.
But circuit courts are responsible for all jury trials and basically are the courts that hear anything that do not end up in small claims court or traffic court. So it's kind of the highest, it is the highest trial court level in Arkansas.
Gotcha.
I did not know that. See,
And I cannot help fix your roads.
Unfortunate.
Or the spam calls.
I would now let me tell you.
Who was that goober that asked about spam
Spam
calls?
I don't want to promise anything because I could get in trouble, but I'm trying to work on a spam call solution. And I don't want to hedge any votes on that from anybody.
Right.
But we're trying to get our minds around that. I'm just going to leave it at that.
There you go. I'm just cracking up at the spam calls. I'm 45 years old, but I'm getting Medicaid, AARP, and senior assisted living phone calls.
Time flies. It's catching us quick.
And I'm like, what are y'all trying to tell me?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, they're brutal.
Oh, yeah, and relentless.
Those folks don't have very good manners.
No. Okay, so what makes you stand out over any of the other candidates that are running?
Oh boy, what makes me stand out?
That's a good question.
It's a good question. I always have to preface an answer to a question like that by saying this: I do not like talking about myself, and I have people that come up to me and say, "Well, why in the world are you running then? Because you got to talk about yourself." And I was in Mountain View today campaigning, and I had a lady say something. Asked me a question kind of like that, and I said, "Oh, I hate you. Don't want to hear about me." Well, why are you here then? Of course, I want to hear about you. I don't know who you are. I have been practicing law for 37 years. Okay, and when I say practicing law, I say that sometimes, and people kind of look at me. Well, what does that mean? Well, I have been a lawyer, set up in an office, having to make a living for 37 years. Okay, 37 years in the 16th Judicial District.
That's awesome.
37 years.
Same place.
So what does that mean? 37. Well, what that means is since September 1st, 1988 was when I was licensed. And no, y'all don't have any idea. Y'all are young folks.
I was 7.
You might make me feel real good there about myself. I had hair then, and Cindy and I moved into Batesville with a 1-year-old, and started practicing with a firm there. And in the past 37 years, I have seen just about every type of case that is imaginable walk through my door. And we've been so blessed to be able to, meet people and talk to people and represent people. And aside from criminal cases, I've never done much criminal work. I've done a little bit.
That was going to be my next question. I'm assuming you probably run the gamut.
I have, and I will say this. I have tried one criminal jury trial, and I won it, and I retired. I wanted to be able to say I'm undefeated in criminal trials. So I've never lost a criminal trial. I have lost many civil trials because I have tried many civil trials. I have tried jury trials in every court in the 16th Judicial District multiple times, dozens and dozens of jury trials. That is something that is getting to be very rare. Many lawyers that come into practice no longer try jury trials, and they're hard. They really are. But I've been blessed to be able to do that. I have had hundreds of what I call bench trials, which are trials before judges. So over the last 37 years, I have handled dozens of jury trials, hundreds of bench trials. I have tried cases across the state of Arkansas. I have argued cases before the Arkansas Supreme Court. I've argued cases before the Arkansas Court of Appeals, the Arkansas Workers' Compensation Commission, the Arkansas Social Security Administration. I have had cases in other states. I've been blessed to be able to work with lawyers who will have a case where somebody maybe that is traveling through New Mexico is involved in an accident, but they're from Arkansas, and therefore they need an Arkansas lawyer. And I have worked on cases in New Mexico. I've worked on cases in
I did not know that.
Mississippi. I've worked on cases in Missouri. So when you start talking about 37 years, I've seen a lot,
Sure.
and I think experience is so important. And what I have tried to point out to people is it's not just experience in the law, but it's experience in life. And I'm a lot different person at 62 than I was at 25 or 35 or 45 at 50 or 55. You know, you hopefully mature
And grow.
and grow, and a lot of that growth has been as the result of hard times, hard things, and God shapes us. He does that, and sometimes I'm really difficult to be shaped because
I understand that.
I resist it, but God has put us where we are. And I regularly get asked, why are you running? Why now? And the reason is, and this sounds simplistic, but Cindy and I talked about it, prayed about it, and we believed that it was the right time. And it had not been before. And that's why I'm here. That's why we're here. We feel very strongly about this opportunity to serve, and we're very, very excited about that opportunity.
And clearly, it's a
Family thing, yeah.
run operation here. So, I mean, that's huge.
It is a family run situation. Cindy and I have we have a great marriage, and when I say that, that means we have a marriage that has been tested many times.
Absolutely.
And for her to put up with me, I don't know how she has. I definitely married above my grade, but
We could have another show about this.
yeah. but God has blessed us in such a wonderful way.
He
And
works in mysterious ways.
He does work in mysterious ways, and
sometimes it's just a slap upside the head.
yeah, well, I need that.
I do too.
I need it.
That's what works.
But you mentioned it being a family, family enterprise. It absolutely is, and I will tell you, beyond a doubt, I could not have done this. I could not have run this campaign without my family and friends, and we've had tremendous support there. It is physically difficult. It is emotionally difficult. It is a great challenge, and I couldn't have come close to shouldering this on my own. And if Cindy had not been completely on board, this would never have happened. Wouldn't have done it. Couldn't have done it.
I can see that. Because your biggest support starts at home.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does. And I don't see how people that don't have that are even able to go forward.
It'd be
I couldn't.
tough. No.
You even had somebody agree that you outdid yourself with Miss Cindy over here.
There's no doubt that many people would agree with that.
Yeah. But we do have a question. It says, other than knowing the law, what is the most important qualities a good judge must possess in your opinion?
Okay. That is a wonderful question. And I have I've been in front of a lot of judges. And you get to experience on the other side of that bench when you're a lawyer looking up at who are the most effective. And it's funny because there are people, and I've had this question that has come up. There's this idea that if you are a fantastic lawyer, that means you will be a fantastic judge. Not the case. Some of the best lawyers that I have ever known did not make particularly good judges, and vice versa. Some of the best judges were not necessarily the most gifted lawyers. There is a different skill set that's involved. Now, both need to know the law. I mean, you've got,
Of course.
But just in a layman's mind, on the outside looking in, one's wanting to win, one's wanting to find the scales.
It's a different parameters in that. But here's what I think is the most important thing to be an effective judge, and this is going to sound strange. I think you need to be a nice person. You need to treat people like people. People need to be treated with respect, dignity, a little bit of compassion every once in a while. And I every once in a while I'll have someone ask me or say, "Well, you're going to be a tough judge if you want me to vote for you." And I understand that sentiment, the idea that you're going to enforce the law. Very important. The law has to be enforced evenly, has to be applied evenly, and I've had people. I've said stuff at meet and greets, et cetera, about praying about things, and I've had a few people kind of say, well, you can't be praying about what kind of decision you're going to. Well, first off, bull. I don't buy that. I pray, and that's
there's no better light to follow there.
No, that's the way I am. So, and that's who I am. But if you are going to have people in front of you who are first time in court, most people have never been in court. It is a foreign, scary situation. The last thing in the world that they need from a judge is someone who is going to belittle them, who is going to treat them with a lack of respect, someone who is going to make it even scarier than it already is.
Right.
I mean, I think about when I go into a doctor's office and you don't know what's going on. Maybe there's a question if you've got something wrong with you seriously. What kind of person do you want in there? Do you want someone who is going to absolutely treat you like you're a second class? I don't have time for your question. Or do you want someone who will spend some time and say, hey, I'll listen. I'll listen to you.
Right.
And I think that is so important in the judiciary. And I have seen some of the best judges. I am not going to name a judge because it would not be proper for me to do that. But I know a judge in this area of the state who I was in his court one day, and I was blown away by his kindness and how much time he took in answering questions and just being human. And I did something I'd never done. When I got back to the office, I wrote him a note and said, Judge, I appreciate what I saw out of you today, just being a good guy.
Yeah, because you being a nice person and showing a little patience and a little compassion doesn't mean you're not going to hold them accountable.
No.
But you're going to try to lessen the scariness of it a little bit.
Once you finally realize and accept that we have all fallen short.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, because we're all human.
And we're all going to stand before one at some point.
Yeah.
It is, being in court and having to look up, and it's funny because, judges are up, they've got you up on a pedestal. And you've got this black robe on, which I understand. I like the traditions and, I get all of that. But why not make it a situation where the people can go away saying, I may not like that guy's decision. Correct. But at least I feel like I was treated with some dignity. And if God allows us to have this position, that is really high on my priority. Treating people the way that I would like to be treated, the golden rule.
That's it.
And once again, that does not mean that you don't follow the law. We've got to follow the law. That's the job.
Right.
Well, I will say thank you for that,
Very much.
because I've never, the whole going into the doctor's office, never thought of it that way. But you're absolutely right. We all get petrified when we go to the doctor because we don't know what they're going to say or how they're going to make us feel.
And that's why I like my doctor.
And
Me too.
but
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, yes, our judges are put up on a pedestal, but that doesn't mean they have to look down upon us and degrade us and belittle us. And because there again, we're all human, we all make mistakes, and most of us know that there are consequences to everything that we do.
There are.
Good or bad.
And with the exception of, what I'll refer to as, happy events like adoptions where people are, they're excited
Yes.
about being in court. Usually when people are in court, something's wrong. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be there, and they don't have any idea what to expect. And this, these guys are speaking this foreign language, and you've got people in there with guns, bailiffs, and it's a scary.
It's very intimidating.
Arena. It is. And listen, I have been, and Cindy was with me when this happened, but I was in a court in another part of the state, and it was not in this judicial district. It didn't involve any of these judges that we've got now, and we've got some fine judges. But I was out of my comfort zone in the city in a case that I was involved in, and I had a judge that scarred me, and I tell you, treated me in a extremely poor manner, and sometimes I deserve that. This was not one of those that I did. That was just the nature of this judge, and that's what this judge was known for. And I thought afterwards, why do that?
Why would you want that reputation?
Why? I mean, life is way too short.
Absolutely.
And if you can take the skill set that the Lord has given you in your profession and try to serve people in a way that follows the law, does your job, but still leaves them with dignity, I think that's what we should do. That's the way I feel about it.
I won't argue.
Not at all. Great answer. I feel like we've already touched on like an answer for all of these.
I'm sorry. I have
No.
rambled, and,
You're good.
Worst comes to worst, I'll sing, but I told you that I'm afraid we'll soon lose our audience. So I'm going to leave that alone.
Well, what's your favorite jingle?
Oh, geez.
Oh, my goodness. My favorite jingle.
He'll sing Golden Girls with you.
Oh,
Thank
okay,
you
you're
for
talking-
being a friend.
Okay, yeah. So you're a Golden Girls.
Oh yeah.
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 I like the Golden Girls. As we were talking about before we got started, Cindy and I are, we're old school. We're Andy Griffith.
I love Andy Griffin
And
too.
we watch it every day. I think as long as we have been married, we have watched an Andy Griffith episode probably every day. And there's so much wisdom there, and there's so few shows that translate, still have the same, meaning.
Yes.
50 years, 60 years later.
I feel like if I had me one of them neck stretchers,
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have to go see my chiropractor so
I
often.
saw that one the other day. I don't. It helped Barney growing in.
It did.
It
It
did.
did.
So anyway, that worked out well for him.
And ain't be packed the weight on. so-
Okay, what
Actually, it was the change.
what is your favorite movie and your favorite quote?
Okay.
I feel like we should have a drum roll or something with that.
Well, there is one up here. Hit one of them buttons up here.
Somebody's setting me up on this one because they know I've got an all-time favorite quote. My favorite, and this is not officially a movie, but my favorite story of all time is Lonesome Dove.
Clearly.
Okay. Now, technically, it's a miniseries, but I call it a movie.
It is when I watch it.
It is because we watch every bit of it.
Yes.
Our and I'll give you my quote in a minute, but our sons-in-law, when they came into the family, one of the things that we made them do when we were going on vacation, we would make them watch Lonesome Dove because it's just part of it.
Yeah.
If you're going to be with us, you got to watch Lonesome Dove.
You're going to be with my daughter, you got to know how to be.
And there are so many great quotes in that movie. And we were talking earlier about how sad it's been that we lost Gus McCrae, Robert Duvall this week. But my favorite quote is from Woodrow. And y'all will remember the scene where his son Newt is whipped savagely by a buffalo scout, and of course Woodrow has never claimed him as a son
ever.
Right.
But he won't stand for that, and he comes out and promptly beats this guy half to death.
I am watching it right now in my head.
Yeah, and then turns to the frightened onlookers and says, "I hate rude behavior in a man. I won't tolerate it."
Yep.
That to me is the all-time greatest line in the all-time greatest show. And every time I see
still
Tom,
a movie.
Movie.
It is.
So that is. And my assistant, Jessica Martin, who's worked with me for 16 years, she knows I like that particular line, and she has got it on a etched in a piece of wood that's behind my desk.
Very
so
cool.
I get to look at that and think about it.
Yeah.
Well, Jessica is watching, but
She better be.
but she did not ask that question.
Okay.
So I just want to point that
All
out.
right.
So your bonus will be on this week's check for watching.
I had okay. So gonna kind of take it, relax it a little bit.
Okay.
So what do you and Miss Cindy like to do on your downtime other than being with the family?
Okay. Other than watching Andy Griffith.
And correct, or Lonesome Dove.
Okay, that is another wonderful question. We traditionally, and this has not been done as much over the last few years, but we have always taken one vacation a year. And like most folks from up here, we go down to the Redneck Riviera, and we usually end up down in around Destin. Navarre is where we have gone for the our last few trips. We started out going to Gulf Shores, and we've just generally kept
going a little,
moved down a little bit. First, took the kids with us, and they always wanted to take someone with them, so we ended up with extra kids. And the last few trips, it has been the kids don't want to go with you anymore. So it's been Cindy and I, and we took our moms a couple of years ago. We love going to the beach, and it's really ironic because I absolutely hate the water.
He hates the sand.
I don't. Cindy loves it. Cindy loves the ocean, and she will be in it. She would stay in it 23 hours a day, and if I could stay out of it, I would stay completely out of it. I really like to go and eat. I love seafood, and we love going down there. So that has been kind of our go-to vacation. But listen, we're pretty simple, and we just enjoy being at home. And when our girls were at home, we did whatever they did, and now that the grandkids are around, we do what they do, and we're pretty involved with our church, and we certainly enjoy that. But I enjoy her a lot. I don't know if she enjoys me, but we
Depends on the moment.
It does depend on the moment, but we like the pretty simple life.
Completely understand that.
Hey, Pop, you're doing good, JoJo.
Well, I appreciate JoJo saying. JoJo is Alex's oldest child, and she like all of them is beyond special.
I love that. So is JoJo a nickname or her actual name?
Well, I think on her birth certificate it actually says Joelle. But she's never been called that. She's been JoJo from day one.
I love that though.
And my dad's name was Joe. Aww. And my first name is Joseph. I don't know if that's where they got JoJo or not, but that's what I'm claiming.
Right, there you go.
So anyway, but she's works. JoJo.
I like that. So anything else you would like to educate us on, like on your reasoning on running and what your purpose is that's driving you to do it?
Okay. I think that, you reach a point in your professional life and just in your life where you feel like you're being, led in a different way. And I've kind of mentioned that earlier, and when I said Cindy and I had prayed and thought about it, and that's a huge part of it. But doors open and doors close, and I have prayed that if this is not what the Lord would have us do, close that door. And we have felt throughout this campaign that those doors have remained open, and we continue to feel that way. The judge that is presently working in this court is retiring, and when that happened, that brought this to the forefront. Okay, if we're going to do this, Cindy, this is the time to do it, and that was a big part of it. And I think another part of it is, when you're practicing law, when you're a lawyer, and you mentioned this earlier, it's a different dynamic, and I have reached the point where I believe, based upon what I have done as a lawyer throughout the years and the things that hopefully I have learned, that I am in a position where I can put that to service, for the folks of the 16th Judicial District. That's what I want to do. I've always done the best I could to work for my family and work for my clients. Mm-hmm. But the idea of being able to serve the people of the 5 counties of the 16th Judicial District is beyond anything that I can hope for. I have lived my entire life here. When I say here, I mean in north central Arkansas. Born in hospital in Batesville, taken straight to Izard County, where I lived my first 18 years. And that's a county in the 16th Judicial District. Straight out of law school to Batesville, 16th Judicial District. North Central Arkansas is our home. This is what we love. This is where our people have lived and died and been buried. And this is it for us. We've not been anywhere else. We're not going anywhere else. and the opportunity to be able at this point in my life to be able to serve in that position would just be the cherry on top.
Fair enough.
Now I've got a real tough question for you. So it says, who's your favorite all-time assistant? Me or Jessica? No pressure. That was from Cheryl.
Yes, you know, these ladies are in trouble.
Yeah, because Jessica actually said pressure is on.
When I get back to Batesville, there will be ramifications for these questions.
Whoopsie.
Cheryl worked with me for 20 years.
Oh wow.
And Jessica is getting up there to 16 years. And if they think that I'm going to make an answer to that, they're as crazy as my daughters are. But let me say this. And I hope this is evident based upon how long they've worked with me. I don't feel like they work for me. I've never felt that way. I have been so blessed to have great assistants, and they become like family. They do, and both of those ladies mean so much to me and my family, and they have always been there for us, and God brought them to us, and I can never be thankful enough for them, both of them.
Both of them. When they put that out there, I was like, oh my goodness. What, in your opinion, what's your opinion on dress code in courtroom? I know some are strict.
Yeah. That's a great question. I don't think anybody has asked me that.
Leave it to Travis.
Leave it to Travis. I don't know if Travis is an attorney or not. I am somewhat old-fashioned in this regard. Now, I am not one of these guys who think that, I'm going to hold somebody in contempt because I don't like, their style of dress. I can remember years and years ago there was a judge in another part of the state, and a lady came in, and she had a T-shirt, and it said something on it, and he went like ballistic, and it wasn't a curse word or anything, but it offended him, and he like made a big example of it. I think that the courtroom is a serious place.
Sure.
And I don't think that people need to come in and in their bathing suits. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
That goes without saying.
Yes.
But on the other hand, I also realize that there are certain people that, for whatever reason, they only have certain clothes to wear, and those people should never be made to feel any less by virtue of that. As far as court personnel goes,
that's a whole nother story.
It is, and I'm big on people dressing up for court. It's important. And I think it should carry with it that distinction. And I can never go to court without a coat and tie on. Mm-hmm. And I know that ties have fallen out of favor, and a lot of men don't wear them. And listen, I'll be willing to hear your side of that argument if you want to make it. But when it comes to the attorneys, I think attorneys should dress like professionals.
I agree.
And carry themselves like professionals. I still like to see a doctor in his white coat, and that's again, that may be old fashioned, but I do think that there needs to be a recognition that not everyone has the same dress code because of our circumstances.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that answer. I agree, and he came back and said that he said, I've seen people kicked out of the courtroom for cargo shorts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that it has to be looked at on a case by case basis.
Right. Every situation is different.
It is, and let me say this: there are people that wear cargo shorts because that's what they have to wear. And I would not be comfortable with the idea of making someone leave a courtroom that I was presiding over the fact that they had cargo shorts on, and that's the clothes they have. And I think we've got to be very careful. We're judges, but we need to be careful not to be, this is going to sound impossible, judgmental sometimes.
Right. Because there again, you don't know their current situation.
You don't.
Living situation, or, or just in general.
We do not. And that's not to say that it can just become a free for all and people can wear whatever they want to. I think when people come into a courtroom, they need to take their hats off, need to take their caps off, and I wear caps constantly. I mean, that's me. My grandmother used to say, you've got a hat head, and I do. I need to wear one. But there's something about getting in that courtroom, and I believe that people should take their
It should be respected.
They should be, and they don't need to be phones ringing and I know that's the world we live in. But I'm somewhat old fashioned in that regard. I think that it should be a place of respect. But there's a difference between having respect and having abject fear among the people that walk in.
Right. But I agree. I mean, that's just, think about it. You walk in the church, where's your phone?
Right.
Or is your phone on vibrate?
Yeah. Well, mine's in the car because I'm always afraid I'm going to forget to turn it off or not understand.
Well, and that's me.
Right.
But mine typically, I'm going to say 75% of the time, stays on vibrate anyway.
Right.
But it's right in your face too.
Yes, but I also have a watch that is on vibrate too. But everybody knows if it's an emergency, they know to call him because his ringer is going to be on. But mine is going off constantly. Right. So it's just, for me, out of respect for everybody around me, I put my phone on vibrate.
Yeah, and I think that's in a courtroom. I recognize that lawyers, they work on their phones and they need them, and they may be actually doing legal work on their phone, and they need to, but they don't have to be talking on it out in the middle of the court. And I'm not saying that is a problem that I've seen, but it all goes back to the respect issue. And it's people that are in a courtroom, whether they be lawyers, whether they be people that are there for a case, they don't need to be out there talking on their cell phones.
Right.
And again, I may sound like an old codger, and in that regard, maybe I am, but there is a certain, and sanctity is not the right word in regard to a courtroom because that's reserved for a church in my language, but there is something to respect being accorded to a place of law, and I think that's just part of it.
I agree. I agree. Do you have any more questions?
I don't think so.
Any final thoughts that you want to put out there? I know that's a deep subject, but
well, with me, it's not very deep sometimes, but it is. Can I share just a little story?
You
absolutely
say whatever you want.
This is your show.
Okay. Well, I don't think I've shared this. Cindy's heard it 87 times because she's been around, but
she can stick her fingers in her ears.
She can. When I was taking the bar examination, this was in 1988, and most people know the bar examination is this torture device that
makes you want to go insane.
It does, and would-be lawyers have to take this test. It's a 3-day test.
Oh my!
And what is so cruel about it is if you don't pass, you're not a lawyer. I mean, you have gone to law school and you have a law degree, but you can't practice law. You can't make a living. So it's mighty important that you pass the bar exam, and it was very hard for me. I'll say that. Maybe easy for some people, but it was not easy for Scott. So I had a wife, and I had a young daughter, Lindsay, and I had a job waiting for me. But that job was strictly contingent upon me passing that bar exam.
Pressure.
So it's in Little Rock. So you go down 3 days and stay in some horrible hotel and try to get through this. And after the first day of the bar examination, I came back to my room, and Cindy was home with Lindsay because I wouldn't subject her to that. So I felt completely alone. And I was convinced that I had not gotten anything right. And I thought, well, I am absolutely finished.
Toast.
I have committed 7 years of my life, college, law school, and I'm going to end up being one of these guys that has a law degree on his wall and cannot do anything with it. And it was one of the lowest moments, and there was something in me that said 2 Corinthians 3:5. Okay. And I was raised in church and was very blessed, and I had read the Bible, at least some, but I don't, that verse just didn't, it wasn't like John 3:16. Mm-hmm. And I went to the little dresser there beside my bed in the hotel and pulled out the Gideon Bible and looked up 2 Corinthians 3:5. And it said, not that you are sufficient to do anything of yourself, but your sufficiency is of God.
Wow.
And I've told people that, and I think some people, oh yeah, right. I knew that I would pass that bar exam, not because of me, but because God was sufficient. And I did. And God has always been sufficient for Cindy and I through good time, bad time, through me trying to get away from him and not listen to him. He has always been there. He has always been faithful. He has always been sufficient. And at the end of the day, if we are blessed to win this election, and I want to win, and I think and this is hard for me to say, but I think I'm qualified, and I think it'll be up to the folks of the 16th. But man, I want your vote and think I need it, and think on some level I even may deserve it, even though I don't want to say that. It will be about God and his sufficiency for me. And if we don't win, he will be sufficient for us, just as he always has been. And we will give him the glory regardless. Victory in this election, he gets the glory. If we do not win, he gets the glory. And we'll go on and be most blessed. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to have a God like that. And all glory to him. And that's where we are. And it's not been easy, but it's been with him there. And that's why we're here.
That's awesome.
To follow up with that, for folks out there, there's lots of folks, I don't know who's listening, who's watching, whatever, but there's lots of folks out there that don't understand when you say God talks to me or this, that, and the other, that it doesn't make sense to them.
Right.
Well, for me, what you just said was one of those lops upside the back of the head. Now, you had to do something.
It is. There have been so many times, we as children of God and saved, and all the different ways that we could talk about that. We have that Spirit. We have the Spirit of God. We have the Holy Spirit living within us, and a lot of times I try not to listen to Him, but I sure was glad to hear Him on that day in that hotel room when I was convinced I was about to not be able to support my young wife and daughter.
With all the debt you just acquired.
Right. That's absolutely right. And he's always faithful. He always is. And, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Family is beyond important to me, and I tell people this all the time. I am blessed with such a great family, but they're number two.
Mm-hmm.
And God, Jesus Christ, number one.
Yep.
And without number one, number two
doesn't happen.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
And as important as it is, and as much as I want to serve as circuit judge, and I believe that's in God's timing, and I hope that I get that opportunity. That's not the number one thing.
Right.
And it can't be.
Mm-mm. His will be done.
His will be done every day of this campaign, and probably I've said it today several times. He is in control. Now, I try to get that away from him sometimes, and I don't, but he is.
We're all guilty of that at times.
Absolutely, we're our own worst enemy.
Well, I will say I appreciate you coming on
Very much.
and educating us, because like I told y'all and I told Alex, I was like, because I don't know. I don't know how it all works and, all that good stuff. So, and that's been the one thing that we've enjoyed the most the last couple of weeks of doing these shows is we've been educated.
And we're learning about school board, learning about circuit judge. And
Yeah.
so it's been fun. It's been fun for us just to sit here and listen.
This has been a great privilege for me. I told Cindy coming over here, I am a social media. I know nothing. I still think about 8-track and cassette tapes. But I was looking forward to this because I had an idea of what I thought it would be, and it's been better than that because y'all have been so gracious to us, and I appreciate that so much. And this is a great forum. It truly is, and just thank y'all for letting us come over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm very grateful that Alex reached out and she was like, hey, can we get Dad on? And I was like, okay, who's Dad? Sure.
But absolutely.
Because like I told you before we started, we try to keep this a positive and neutral, unbiased platform for anyone to come on.
That's like what's today, Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday.
Yeah, today's Wednesday. So tomorrow's Thursday, so we got a show tomorrow night. And the guy that's coming on tomorrow night, had never met him. He come in the front door one day and he was
Bless his heart.
I'm just trying to get signatures for my petition. Okay, 2 questions. What petition? And what is your name?
That's how we first met him.
And so we'll get to know more about him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, this gives such an opportunity for people to be able to learn more than they can get on social media, or even if
scrolling.
Or even at meet and greets to some extent, because you've got every candidate, time's limited, and it's really hard. Those are good, and I think they have been wonderful during the campaign because it allows people to get out there in different areas in the district and see and hear from the candidates. But time is just so
right
limited in those.
And what I like about this as an audience member is my ears don't cooperate real well. And so like in a room, if there's any bit of whispering or chatter anywhere,
He can't
I have
hear.
no clue what you said.
Right.
And you can have a microphone with the biggest speaker, but as long as all that chatter, anything's going on, ruffling papers or anything, I'm just there.
Yeah, I get it.
And that's what we tell people, like for you, you've been doing out campaigning and doing the meet and greets and this at the town halls and whatever, where you were personally in front of all these people. But this right here gives you a silent moment to be able to, it's all about you and your purpose and what your plan and why you're doing this. And, without somebody, not saying that they yell over each other or anything like that. I don't know. I've never been to one, but.
That doesn't, it hadn't happened to me many times. Can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
And I say things sometimes and then I think I'm going to wish I hadn't said that.
Uh-oh.
And I used a word that I did not want to use. I do not deserve. Cindy knew this was where this was coming from. I don't deserve anything. And that's not what I meant. I don't deserve.
I know exactly. I don't know how to explain it, but I know what you're saying. A friend of mine on Messenger here about a year ago asked me how I was doing, and I said better than I deserve.
Yeah.
And he said that's not true. If you didn't deserve it, he wouldn't give it to you. And it's still, I still argue with myself over that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't either.
And that is really not what I meant. I don't deserve to be judged. And I don't deserve to be married to Cindy, and I don't deserve to be dad to Lindsay and Alex. And I don't deserve any of that. God has placed me in a spot where I have been blessed to be able to serve.
Yeah.
He put you right where he wanted you.
I believe that he has, but deserving ain't got nothing to do with it.
Right.
Concur. That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I had
I appreciate that.
If I had not made that correction, I would have not slept tonight. I would have gone back and thought, oh my goodness, that's not what I meant. And so thank y'all for letting me correct my mistake.
Absolutely. Like we said, it's your show.
Yeah.
We're just here.
Well, you're more than just here, but thank you.
So any other closing final thoughts that you would want to put out there before, because our questions and stuff have kind of went quiet on us.
Yeah, I understand. People have gone to sleep listening to me, and I understand that.
Well, and we didn't think about it. It's Wednesday night.
Okay.
That's all right. But
Well,
the good
and
news
it's
is
church
this
night,
this
too.
is on Facebook. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, people can go back and watch it and still ask questions.
Yeah.
And Alex or Lindsay can ask you the questions and answer them for
that's
you.
great.
Yeah. So it's still there.
Yeah.
I think the only other thing I would say is I would just encourage people to get out and vote. It is so important.
Absolutely.
And we sometimes take that right for granted. And I won't give a civics lesson, but we need to exercise that right because we're not guaranteed to always have it, and so many places do not. And these circuit judge races, obviously they're important to us. We're in them, but they are important to everyone because, again, these are the courts that deal with almost every legal problem that is going to come up unless it's a ticket or a small claims matter, as we mentioned earlier. Who is on these courts? That's an important decision for people.
Right.
And people need to do their homework and consider and pray and whatever. But at the end of the day, they need to vote.
Absolutely.
People really need to do that, and it's on us. I mean, early voting's already started. March 3rd is this election. Unless there's a runoff, these judges will be selected on March 3rd.
So if you're elected March 3rd, you take office March 4th,
No.
or how does that work?
January 1st. So you don't take office until January 1st. I know it's kind of a.
That's weird.
I know it truly is. It makes it logistically that is kind of difficult. But answer to the question is, election March 3rd. You don't take office though until January 1st.
Okay.
I would assume that would be to allow the current judges to maybe wrap up
Yes.
things they've got going already.
Plus, the lawyers that are elected will have to wrap up their practices.
That's
That's
flip side of that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Okay. See, that's why I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Because, you have an office that you've got to figure out. Okay. And the judge that is stepping down is retiring and all of that. Okay. Okay, so now maybe it makes a little bit of sense. It's
Well, I hope it does. I hope I've not created more questions than I've answered.
not for myself
No, I
anyway.
think we're good. And if you have, hopefully they ask them out there, and
Yeah.
some of your Facebook gurus catch them, and
That would-
because questions are not bad.
No, I think questions are important. I just know that I didn't.
to an extent that you can answer.
Right.
Yeah.
I just have to have someone out there who can tell me how you do this on Facebook.
Well, you've got two wonderful assistants, and you've got Alex and you've got Lindsay.
I do.
That they'll take care of you.
I do, and
I have faith in them.
I require quite a bit of care.
Yeah.
I'm pretty high maintenance. Can't do much, but anyway, I am blessed.
Good
Well,
deal.
Mr. Scott, I do appreciate it. Miss Cindy, I appreciate
Thank you for driving him.
being the support system. And if you need anything, please feel free to reach back out to us, and we would happily have you back on for sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
You're very
Yes,
welcome.
sir.
I appreciate you, and hope y'all have a great evening.
Y'all
Y'all
as well,
too.
and a safe trip home.